question today is, what relics should you pick in Twisted Leagues? Well, the answer is not easy, but it just depends on what kind of playstyle you are interested in. So I'm going to go through each of the tiers and tell you what you should pick for your specific playstyle. So let's start with Tier 1. Tier 1, you have the choice between the Abyssal Accumulator, the Endless Endurance, and Dark Altar Devotion. Now, for this, it's, for me, a choice between the Abyssal Accumulator and the Endless Endurance. Dark Altar Devotion is pretty much useless. You don't really need it to get your prey levels up. There's different ways to get your prey level up, and you don't really gain too much from it, except for early levels in prayer, which is going to be negated by everybody in the end game, because everybody's going to get those levels anyways. The only upside to this is the half rate that your prayer is going to diminish. The only place this is really going to be useful is during raids or during boss fights, which is not very many bosses. Raids are easily doable without it if you have max gear. So this Dark Altar Devotion, in my eyes, is just a useless thing to pick. You should either go with the Abyssal Accumulator or the Endless Endurance. So the Abyssal Accumulator is going to be very good in the late game because you're gonna have an accumulator. Nobody else is gonna have an accumulator. That is one huge upside. No, you're not gonna have to pick up your stuff, and you're gonna retain a lot of them. This can be good in a multitude of different things. This can be good just for leveling. This can be good at bosses. This can be good at shamans. Can you imagine having to go and pick up all your bolts while you're doing shamans? It's going to be a lot easier for you to die if you don't have Abyssal Accumulator. And this is going to be extra important in raids, especially if you're going to have to use spells on Ulm, because you're not going to have to use as much runes, and you're going to be making a lot more money off of these. Now, personally, I chose Endless Endurance, as you can see. The reason I think this is the best one is, for one, you don't have to stop running. My least favorite part of the game is when you have to slow down and walk somewhere. It's going to take you a lot longer to walk there than it would to run. The only downside to this is when you go back to the main game, it's going to suck when you have to walk. Another upside to this is that while you're in the early game, you still have below 16 health. You don't have to eat at Wintertod. You can just stay at Wintertod forever, and your health regeneration is going to keep you alive, and you're never going to have to do anything. Okay, let's move on to Tier 2 now. Now again, this is another one that I only really see two options between Hardcore Harvester and Unnatural Selection. Arcane Courier is just useless, and you're only going to want to use it if you don't care about playing this game seriously. If that's how you want to play, and you don't actually want to make it far in the league, and you don't want to get to the Dragon Cup, then fine, you can pick the Courier. But if you're serious, you either want to choose Hardcore Harvester or Unnatural Selection. Now, I think these two are pretty even. I think you could choose either one, and you can have a good time playing the game, and you can make it far in the league. I personally chose Hardcore Harvester because I want to do a lot of bosses in the end, so I want to be able to have the ability to get a lot of potions. Now, if I was only looking to play for a shorter amount of time and I wasn't looking to do too much endgame, I 100% would have picked Unnatural Selection. And I'm going to tell you the reasons why I personally like Hardcore Harvester better, but why it's also good to use Unnatural Selection. Okay, Hardcore Harvester. First off, you're going to get triple all your gathering. You're going to get triple ores, you're going to get triple fish, you're going to get triple herbs. You don't get triple on your allotments, so you're not going to get 3 snape grasses, which is kind of a bummer. And there's a few other things that you're not going to get triple on that really should be. But other than that, the potions, you're going to have potions forever. I've barely done any farming, and I've done most of my farming levels through Tithe Farm, and I have almost 200 prey pots. I'll be good on prey pots for a long time. This skill is good for early game and end game. In the early game, you can have potions where you can always have your prey up and you're never going to take damage. You can get stuff done a lot easier. And in the late game, you're going to have, again, lots of potions. You're going to have lots of prey potions, you're going to have your attacks, you're going to have your strengths, you're going to have everything you need for endgame content such as bosses and raids. This also helps with getting points. One example is that aerial fishing. If you get a golden tench, you get 3. Now, you still can only get the 500 point for wielding 1 golden tench, but then you can trade in the 3 and you can buy some of the outfit and the fishing rods, you can get more points that way. Another very good option for tier 2 is unnatural selection. This is if you're looking to have a little more fun, you just kind of want to play the game, you want to have a good time, you're not really caring about your placement. While you can still care about your placement with this, it's more fun. It's a fun play style. It's not going to be as efficient as Hardcore Harvester, but you can still rank highly with it. Now, this can be it's a very fun play style, and this can be good because you can pick your tasks, so you can get the max XP rates for Slayer. A lot of people do Dust Devils because you can get the D chain, which is best in slot for your chest armor. And it's good for early games, so you don't get stuck with a bad task, such as I am stuck with a Blue Dragon's task at the moment, and I have no way to kill them. And then in the late game, you can get Hydra tasks whenever you want. You can get any task that's going to help you succeed the most. And that's really where its power comes in, is that it is as good as you want it to be. Either of these choices are perfect, and they'll help you reach your goals, whatever that may be. Alright, so real quick, tier 3 is the most competitive between the 3. Every other one, there's only really a choice between 2 if you want to play the game and you actually want to make it far in the league. But tier 3, you can pick any of these. Now, I picked Way of the Warrior just because I wanted to get through my combat stats really fast, and I knew I was going to be doing them, so I'd get 99s on my combat stats really fast. But after I've done it, I've kind of thought about it a little more, and I actually would not suggest you go Way of the Warrior. I would actually suggest you either go Gift of the Gatherer or Eye of the Artisan. Now, the reason I say this is that if you do a lot of PVM, you're going to get 99 anyways. It doesn't matter. Gift of the Gatherer, Eye of the Artisan are going to be way more important because it's going to make it easier for you to get those to 99. And for me personally, I think after you're grinding out woodcutting, fishing, mining, hunter, thieving, any of these skills, after you're sitting there, you're doing the same thing over and over again for hours and hours and hours. You just want it to end. And this times 2 XP on top of the times 5, you're getting 10 times normal XP rates. You're going to be blasting through these levels. And then especially if you get Zarek's Wisdom for your 5th relic, then you're going to be getting 20 times normal XP rates. I would choose the ones that you dislike training the most, and that's what I think you should go with, because it's going to make your playthrough a lot more enjoyable, and it's going to help you progress farther in the league. Now let's start off by talking about Dins. Dins is the worst. If you're at this point in your stages, you're at tier 4 and you are thinking you want to go back to Wintertod, you've made a mistake somewhere. You did something wrong. You should not be going back to Wintertod and playing Wintertod. There's no reason for it. So that's why Dins is just off the table. On the other hand, this is just another choice of what you want to play, how you want to play it. If you want to be more efficient, or if you want to have fun with it. Konar's Blessing, you're going to get way more XP. You're going to get a lot more damage. PVM in the late game is going to be easier and better. While Treasure Seeker, a lot of people think it's a fun way to play. It can make you rich in the early game and even richer in the late game. But in this game mode, money isn't really something you need to worry about too much. You don't need money for much. After you get your gear, you're growing all your stuff, you're making everything. You're not using a lot of money unless you're dying at Hydra and you have to buy the chest. Another very big upside is you can get some of the best in slot gear, such as Ranger Boots. You can get your Blessed D-Hide, and this is going to help you in the early and late game. You can get every armor that you need, like Rune. And this is going to help in the late game when you have best in slot range gear, especially at Hydra, and you can get your Dragon Warhammer easier. That's why I think either of these you could do, but Treasure Seeker is more if you're looking for a fun gameplay and not looking for the most efficient gameplay. But either one is an option. Tier 5. The last one. Now this is a very interesting one because while all of them could potentially be viable, they're not. That's kind of a theme with these. Every tier has, they look like they could be close. Well, some of them do. Din's is just nowhere near where it should be for what it is. But they all look like they could be close, but then it just comes down to two. There's only two options, really. Force and Wisdom. Resilience is just another useless one. Why would you need that? What is Pray for? You would not need Resilience if you just know how to Pray Flick. And even if you don't know how to Pray Flick, if you have Hardcore Harvester, you have 1,000,000 Pray Potions, you don't need to worry about it. There's no reason for Resilience to be one of the perks. So let's forget about that one and let's talk about Xeric's Force and Xeric's Wisdom. Now I think Force is an extremely interesting concept. As you can see, I have not actually gotten to the 5th relic yet, so I'm not talking from experience, I'm just talking from what you can see on the wiki and talking from what I've seen other people doing. Focus is extremely interesting, and I thought about it for a long time, and I thought that might be the one I picked just because of the interesting concept. You are attacking 1 tick faster with every weapon, which is just incredible. That's never happened before. Nobody's ever done that. You can't do that. That's never been able to be done before. This is the first time that you're able to mess with the tick speed of weapons. Now, this is an interesting thought of how this will affect your gameplay. Now, in early stats, you would think this isn't really useful. This is more for late game content because you're going to be able to do more damage per second. But at the same time, if you're doing more damage per second, doesn't that mean you're getting more XP per hour? So this is almost, it's a hard damage boost, but it's also kind of a soft XP boost, which is why I think this is at this tier, this is probably the most competitive choice. The other ones you can kind of look at it and you can say, oh, well, this is how I want to play. This one could go either way with any type of play style, because you can either go for XP and damage or just straight XP. Now, I sat and thought about this for a while, and I feel like I'm going to go with Wisdom because that is going to be the best way to grind up the ladder, to get to the Dragon Cup. If your goal is to get to the Dragon Cup, then you definitely want to pick Wisdom. Wisdom is going to get you there faster, and it's going to get you there a lot easier with getting all your 99s. If you can max your account, you're going to be rolling in points, and there's almost no way that you're not going to be in Dragon Cup. Force is for endgame. It can help a lot, especially at raids. If you can get a lucky drop, you can get a lot of points from that. So this might be something you're interested in because this is going to make your raids more efficient, faster, and you're going to be able to get more done, and you're going to be able to get more of those items that are going to get you a lot of points. So for that reason, I think these are both very good options, but I would personally choose Wisdom is probably the better one to grind out levels. Alright, that is going to be all for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, go ahead and subscribe, and don't be afraid to come follow my Twitch channel at BogBig22. I've been streaming Twisted League quite a bit. I've really been enjoying it, and if you guys are enjoying it too, come and stop by and say what's up, and maybe we can talk about your choice for your blessings and your relics and whatnot, and then you can tell me how wrong I am. And if you got anything else to say, you can go ahead and leave it in the comments and we can have a conversation down there.